Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on these Moonrise earrings to go with the Moonrise pendant that we made a couple days ago. So I love the fact that actually these are matching earrings to the necklace, because I think then, it's just got a vibe about it that kind of needs, I think, more of a matching earring. I mean, you could just wear a plain pearl earring with this, etc., but I kind of love it this way. So here they are. I put a drop on here. I didn't have any more of the Aeronite drops that are in the collection, but you don't need to put the drop. You can leave the drop off. It's certainly up to you. You can even take the components and make, add it and make a necklace instead of earrings if you want, but we're going to do an earring today. So I'm going to clear this off, get a materials list going, and we'll get started. Okay, let's get a materials list going. So you need 2 of the cushion cut fancy stones from the collection, and all of these beads are from the restock of Stonehenge Ancient Ruins collection, the collection I curated with Eureka Crystal Beads a few months ago, except for a couple of things. So these 2 are in there. And then this is a Toho Aiko. There's a treasure in the collection. I picked this just for contrast's sake, and it does actually look pretty as well. So if you want to purchase this, it's opaque French lilac luster, and it's a Toho Aiko. So the fancy cylinder beads. 11/0 seed bead, 15/0 seed bead, 3mm pearl. I've got a couple of ear wires. The ones you have in the collection are the really beautiful tiara cast. I think they're the gold filled ones. We've got our fire polish bead. You have 2 of the Elite Eureka Crystal sort of briolette drops. These are so gorgeous. Yours will be an Aeronite. I didn't have any Aeronite left, and I only had 1 of these left, but you need 2. I think that's it as far as beads. And then you'll need a stop bead. I've got 8-pound Fireline black satin. I have a size 10, 11, and 12 beading needle. You're going to need that 12 beading needle to get through, some of the beads. All right. If you if you are going to wrap your drop, then I will put a link to the video where I wrapped the drop. I don't have any more of the wire, so I can't wrap it for you, but I already have a video, and that'll be linked in the description box below this video as well. All right, so let's get started. Remember, everything's in the description box below the video: sizes, shapes, colors, amounts, places to purchase beads, the collection, you name it. All right, let's get started. So thread your needle with about 30 inches of thread, put on a stop bead around the middle. We'll use both ends. So if you've done the pendant, it's very similar. We're just going to change some bead amounts. So you're going to pick up and drop down to your stop bead 5 of your Delicas, Aikos, Tohos, Treasures, cylinder beads, and 4 15/0s. 5, and I'm using Aikos here. Aikos here, 4 15/0s, and you're going to repeat that 4 times. So we here are our groups. Just like that. Okay, let's sew those into a circle. So we're going to sew through the first bead after the stop bead, which is this cylinder bead here. And now I have my circle. Now we're going to pick up a cylinder bead, exiting here, skip 1, sew through the next one. That should pop up, previous one. Pick up a cylinder, exiting here, skip this one, sew through the next one. Then you're going to pick up a 15/0, and you're going to skip the next 15/0 right here and sew through the next 2. So the 2 in the center of those 4 beads. Just like that. Should pop up. Then you're going to pick up a 15/0. You're exiting these 2 15/0s in the middle, skip this one, sew through the cylinder bead. Just going to repeat that all the way around. Cylinder, cylinder, 15/0 through the 2 middle 15/0s of that group of 4, 15-0, skipping this 15-0 and sewing through the cylinder bead. Like that. Okay, continue that all the way around, and then we'll step up. Coming down to the end, so I'm putting on that 15-0, so exiting the cylinder, skipping this one, sewing through the 2 in the middle. And then I'm going to pick up a 15-0, exiting this 15-0, skipping that one. I'm going to sew through this delica, or cylinder, and then the one on the diagonal. And now we've stepped up. Straighten that out. Now we're ready to put some more beads on. Let's add some more beads. So we're picking up the cylinder again. So if I call it a delica or an ico or a cylinder, you know which one I'm talking about. Just picking up a cylinder. Put one here, picking up another one, sew through this 15-0. Picking up a 15-0, I'm just going to sew right over to the next 15-0. So really just putting, another round of delicas and the 15-0s on. So we're going to continue with the delicas, treasures, icos, and then add your 15-0 in the corner. I'm just going to do that all the way around. And then at the end, we'll step up. Approaching the end, I just have it on my finger now, just easier to hold. So putting on my cylinder, and then my 15-0 in between. Those two 15-0s in the corner. See how it's turning into a square already? And then our last cylinder bead, exiting the 15-0. I'm going to sew through this one and the one on the diagonal. So this one, then the one on the diagonal to step up. Okay, this is what we have so far. Okay, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to flip it over now to the other side and take off my stop bead and thread my needle. So you'll be exiting the cylinder bead right here. I just want you to sew right through this 15-0. Right there. You just want to get up to the front, to the top here so we can put some more beads on. Like that. And then we're going to add 15-0s. So pick up a 15-0. Exiting here, you're just going to sew through the next 15-0, which is just jump over there. Like that. See how we get in a corner now? And then you're going to do 15-0s all the way around. 15-0, 15-0, 15-0, and then you're just going to do one in the corner. So exiting here, just to the next sticking out 15-0, which is going to be that one over there. See how that pulls it in? And you're just going to do that all the way around, and then we'll step up. Coming down to the very end, and this is a kind of weird corner step up, so here I'll do it with you. So we've put on these two 15-0s, we have to add another one right here, right? So picking up a 15-0, exiting here, I'm going to sew through this 15-0. Get my needle in there. There you, and then the one on the diagonal. So the one on the diagonal is going to be kind of the one in the middle there. So you see that? Let's give it a little pull. And just see how that sets everything up to put some more beads on. So you'll be exiting sort of that little middle 15-0 in there. All right, so you're going to put this needle down and you're going to pop over to the other side again. This is going to be the front of our bezel. We have a lot more beading to do on the front, but we're going to finish the back first. So just turn on the back, thread your needle, and then we'll continue. I'm on the other side, which is the back. Remember, this is going to be the front, and then we'll bead some more in a bit. I'm coming out of a cylinder bead here. I'm going to put my stone in face down. And if you want to get a little, and you want to make sure your corners are sitting where the 15-0s are. You can kind of flip it over like quickly and see. Oh, looking good. All right, so just like that. I'm going to add 15-0, so I'm going to put a 15-0 in between each sticking out bead. So I'm coming out of the cylinder, going through the next one, picking up a 15-0, sewing through the next sticking out 15-0, which is that one right there in the middle. Another one through here, so through that cylinder, keep going, just putting your 15-0s all the way around, so through here, this cylinder, through this 15-0 in the corner there, and then another 15-0 through the delica or cylinder, and you're just going to do that all the way around, and then we'll step up. Okay, coming down to the end, and I'm going to step up. So picking up my last 15-0, I'm going to sew through this cylinder, and then the 15-0 on the diagonal, like that. This is what it looks like. If you want, you can put another round on. I don't know that it's necessary with this one, but you can if you want to. If not, then you can just go ahead and sew this thread in, and then we'll turn it over and we'll do the front. So I've turned it over to the front. Now we're going to do a little design on the front. So remember, you're exiting sort of that center 15-0 there. All I want to do is move my thread so it's coming out of this bead. So I'm just going to, exiting here, I'm just going to sew through this one, and then the one on the diagonal, and I'm going to add 15-0s. So I'm going to add 1 and 2, 2 15-0s right there. Now I'm going to work my way around again till I get to this bead right here. So you're just going to sew through the beads on the diagonal. So I'll sew through this one. And sew through these 2 right here. This one. And this one. I'm going to add 15-0s. 1 and 2. Like that. Do the same thing. Just going to work your way around till you're coming out of this bead, add your 2, and then after that we'll continue and do another round together. Need to add one more bead between these 2 on each side. So I'm just going to work my way around to this bead. So just as we've been doing, I'm just going to sew on the diagonal with this one. Change to your size 12 beading needle if you need to here. Just maneuvering your way through the beads just like we've been doing. And then you want to place your 15-0 between those 2 right there. Okay, and then you're just going to continue all the way around. Sew through all the beads until you get to this one. Put your bead here, and here, and here, and then we'll continue. And let's embellish. So here I've finished my bezel. It looks great. I'm going to add a thread here, and I want you to add the thread so it's coming out of that 15-0 right here. See, we have a 15-0 here and one here in this little space here. That's where we're going to put the fire polish. So make sure you're exiting here. I'm going to pick up a fire polish, and I'm going to sew through the next 15-0. I'm just going to kind of push that into place. It's not going to sit perfectly right now, but we're going to add more beads. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up an 11-0. Exiting this 15-0, I'm going to sew through this cylinder bead right here. So I want to keep them in line. And then I'm going to pick up a 3mm pearl, and I'm going to sew through the next cylinder bead. then I'm going to pick up an 11-0, and I'm going to sew through this next 15-0 so I can get that next fire polish bead on. So just like that, that's what it looks like. Put on your fire polish through the next 15-0. Okay, just going to play with it a little bit. Then you're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So you have a fire polish, 11-0, the pearl, 11-0, and the fire polish. Just keep going around. Coming down to my last side, so I have my fire polish, my 11-0, my pearl. And I've been kind of straightening out the pearls a little by just putting my needle in and getting a little pull. And then my 11-0, which I think I'm going to turn on the back because I think it's going to be easier for me to see where it goes. So you want your 11-0 to come through this 15-0, and it's going to kind of push your needle in the front. Don't worry about it, just go with it. Like that. And then come through the fire polish. So when I turn it over, I'm exiting that fire polish, and that's what I have so far. Okay, just note at any time you want to stop and call it an earring, you can do that. You don't have to go as far as I'm going, but I'll just keep going. So I'm exiting the fire polish. I'm picking up an 11-0. I'm going to sew through the next fire polish, the next 11-0. Then I'm going to pick up 15-0 and sew through the pearl, like that. I'm going to pick up a 15-0. I'm going to sew through the next 11-0. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, and I'm going to sew through the next fire polish. I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. 11-0. 15-0. Through the pearl. Going to check and see. I think I twisted my thread. Okay, so I kind of got split my thread here a little bit, so I'm going to fix that. But all you're going to do is do your 11-0, 15-0 before the pearl, 15-0 after the pearl, 11-0 before the fire polish, etc. So keep doing that all the way around, and then we'll continue. Okay, coming down to the end, and I'm putting on my last 11-0 through the fire polish, and then I want you to work your way around through these beads. So two 11-0s, the 15-0, the pearl, the 15-0 after the pearl, the 11-0, just going down to the fire polish bead, and this 11-0. So now I've exited that 11-0 that's right before the fire polish. Okay, so I'm exiting the 11-0 before the fire polish. I'm going to pick up two 15-0s, an 11-0 and two 15-0s. I'm going to hop over this fire polish, and I'm going to sew through all the beads down the line till I get to the next fire polish. Like so. I'm going to pick up two 15-0s, an 11-0 and two 15-0s, and I'm going to skip the fire polish and just sew down that line of beads again. Like that. So you're just going to do that all the way around, and then we have one last round to finish. Put on my last group of two 15-0s, 11-0, two 15-0s. I'm going to sew through the beads after that, and I'm going to come all the way down again until I get to the fire polish bead. This is an optional step here. I'm going to sew through everything. I'm going to sew through, including these two 15-0s before that 11-0 of the group. So the 11-0 that's right on top there. So I'm just with no beads on my needle. What you can do here is just skip that 11-0 and then sew down through that whole line of beads till you get to the next corner. And when I do that, see how it pops that 11-0 out, where it's a little rounded here. It pops it out here. So that's optional if you don't want to do it. You don't have to do it. I just think, I just wanted to give you the option. So I'll just let you continue on your own if you want to do that. You know, make the 11-0 stick out. So get that done, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, I'm coming down to the end, so I'm just going to pop that guy up, and then all you have to do here is just continue. You can just sew through all the beads until you get to the pearl, and you can just do a half hitch knot before and after the pearl. And here we go. So you've got your piece done, and it's waiting for its ear wire. So we'll do that next. Okay, let's make an earring out of this. So this is what I did for the earring. I added the drop on, and I added the ear wire. So when I filmed this, I lost the footage for some reason. It's all sewn in, and I didn't want to cut all the threads. So the way that the drop or the ear wire goes on is exactly the same. So I'm going to put the drop on, and then you'll just duplicate that using the ear wire. Okay, so I've threaded my needle with about, I don't know, 15 inches of thread. Putting on a stop bead with a tail to sew in. So whether you're doing the ear wire or the drop here, you're going to sew through these two 15-ohs before the point. So where that 11-oh is, not the 11-oh, just the two 15-ohs, like that. And I want to keep my thread behind that 11-oh. I'm going to pick up a 15-oh, a pearl. Here I'm putting the drop on, but you're just going to put the ear wire on. It's facing the same way. Everything is the same. Then I'm going to pick up another pearl and a 15-oh. And I'll show you what that looks like. This is what it looks like. You have a 15-oh, a pearl, either the ear wire or the drop, pearl and 15-oh. You're exiting, that second 15-oh right there. You're just going to skip that 11-oh, and I'm going to sew through these two 15-ohs right here on the other side. Get my needle in there. Did I say I was using a size 12 beading needle? You'll need it here. So like that. Okay, and when I give that a little pull, this is what it looks like. And what you're going to do here to reinforce is you're just going to sew through this fire polish bead. And then you're going to go through all your beads again. So you're going to go down these two 15-ohs. You're going to go through this 15-oh, the pearl, your either ear wire or your drop, the pearl, the 15-oh, and out through these two. I want you to exit here. Okay, this is what it looks like. So I've come around, I've reinforced. I'm coming out of those two little 15-ohs. All you're going to do with each thread is just sew down to where you can add some half-hitch knots. So either sew through these two 11-ohs, this 15-oh, and put a half-hitch knot here, put it here, wherever your thread will go through, because we're tight at this point, and do it on the other side nice and tight so that drop or ear wire will stay in between the pearls. All right, so get that done, come back, and we'll finish up. Okay, we're back and we're done, and I think they came out great. And I kind of love the matching of it. Sometimes I'm not like matchy person, but I like something to go with. But I think they look so pretty together that I think it really goes well. I just love this big stone and these two. I love the drops on these. They look great, and they look really pretty on the ear. I just wanted to apologize that my filming may not be as perfect or as good as it was in the past. I'm still working on holding my neck in a particular position so that I don't have any problems. I'm fine. I can bead, no problems, but I don't want to have more problems in the future. So I am, just sort of experimenting with ways to hold my neck, and it may affect my videos a little bit. I hope you were able to get everything out of it though, and that it's okay. All right, so I want to thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.